Welcome to the series where I test out money-making methods from the OSRS Wiki. Feel free to leave suggestions on which moneymaker you'd like to see next. And also, if you didn't already know, I have a nice playlist that I've created that has all of the previous moneymakers that I've already tried, so go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. With that being said, let's get into the video. So for today's video, I thought we'd go ahead and do a moneymaker that I think was requested quite a ways back, but I could not find the comment, so I'm sorry to whoever left that, unless of course they deleted it, but I did have it written down in a notepad as one of the videos that I was going to make in the future, so let's do it today. And for whatever reason, I could have sworn that there was no entry in the money-making guides for making Barrows tablets, so I kind of went my own way with it. But if I had known about this, which I didn't find out till after I had recorded everything, I definitely would have done it this way. So maybe in a future video we'll do it like this, but for now, I'm going to be doing it my way, which means that it's not exactly 1 hour. In total, it was probably more like 3 hours of work put into this video. But yeah, it's going to be 1 hour of just making teleport tablets with all of the essence blocks that I mined for a bit. So obviously the profit is going to be much higher than what you see here, but we'll factor that in with the amount of time it took to mine the essence later on. Now, as for the spot where this is taking place, it is in Arceus, so the fastest way to get there, I believe, is using the book you saw me click on right there. It's called Cardis Memoirs. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but you use that book and you can teleport straight here to Arceus, and north is where you'll be making the tablets here at this lectern. And then once you use your full inventory of the dark essence blocks to make them into Barrows tablets, you can head west to the bank and restock. I suppose if I really wanted to, after getting more dark essence blocks, I could just use the memoirs to go back to the middle of Arceus and run north. It would probably save me a little bit of time, but I don't think it's really worth it, so I'll just be running back and forth. Now, as like a bunch of my moneymakers, I'll be using the bank fillers here in the bank to make, of course, banking a lot easier. I will be putting the fillers as so. That way I can deposit everything and keep the Rune Pouch in my inventory. So make sure you don't have a placeholder for that, otherwise it'll go in there. You can also use the screen markers to mark the deposit inventory button if you really want to, which is what I did here. And as for the inventory, you will want to be as light as possible, so I am wearing my full graceful along with the max cape, which acts as a graceful cape, and it also has a nice little stamina boost feature there for me that will come in handy throughout this 1 hour. I'm also bringing my Explorer's Ring 4 because that also has some stamina boosts. It gives me 3 free refills a day, which is nice, so if you have it, definitely bring it. As for the inventory, just the dark essence blocks and of course the Rune Pouch filled with the souls, laws, and bloods. And with the most recent update, they did add this set bonus info panel, which is actually pretty nice. So if you're wearing an armor set that grants you some sort of bonus, you can view it here and it'll go into specifics of what you get from it, so that's pretty nice. And then here's just a look at the Rune Pouch and the runes that I had in there. Don't pay attention to how many I had in there. This was assuming that I had just enough for the amount of dark essence blocks that I would use, but we needed more at the end, so yeah. And here's a cool look at the Arceus teleport tablets interface. I had never seen it before, so this actually looks pretty cool. Very neat, very organized. And yeah, we can just go ahead and jump into the 1 hour now. So as far as the method goes, once you have all your dark essence blocks, it's really straightforward. You're just running back and forth to and from the bank, and then of course to the lectern to make the teleport tablets. Very easy. You could possibly bring stamina potions if you were going to be here for a long time and you don't feel like walking at any part of this, so that might be helpful. But I think we got by just fine with our Explorer's Ring 4 and our max cape. Now, like I said before, the method that I used definitely differs than what they show in the wiki. In the wiki, you're basically doing the teleporting to and from the mining area and the lectern all in one go. But me, I decided to stock up on all of the essence instead. And then, of course, once I had a nice amount, I could go ahead and record the 1 hour, which I ended up having to go back there a second time because it turns out that I didn't mine enough. It was close, but wasn't quite enough. Basically what I did is I would teleport to my house with the max cape, use the fairy ring to get to Arceus, and then run east to the mining spot, get a full inventory, and then of course run back west to turn the blocks into dark essence blocks. And then I would teleport to the crafting guild to bank it and then repeat the process all over again. I'd say it took around a little over 2 hours to get all of the dark essence blocks that I needed for the 1 hour. So in total it was about 3 hours to about 3.5 hours of work. And honestly, I didn't mind at all because it is very AFK, just like blood rune crafting is or soul rune crafting. And I did that all the way to 99, so yeah, I was kind of used to it already. And if I didn't already have the rune crafting pet, I would probably still be back there grinding it out just because of how chill it is. I don't think I would actually mind going for 200 mil over there. It might take a couple years, but yeah, it's pretty chill. And so is making the tablets themselves. So honestly, this is actually a pretty nice moneymaker if you do have these stats for it. You can get a nice amount of profit for little effort. Now, the skills that you need, of course, is 83 magic for the actual spell itself, 38 mining, and 38 crafting to actually get the dark essence blocks. As for items, the pickaxe and the chisel, luckily they have added a chisel spawn to the mining area, and I say luckily because I actually forgot twice to bring my chisel, so I'm very thankful for that. And the wiki also recommends the Xerix talisman. That is, of course, if you are using the method from there, which is to teleport to Xerix Heart and run north and use the lectern here. As for the quests that you need, Priest in Peril is needed, and partial completion of Fairy Tale 2 so that you can have access to the fairy rings, which is what I used to teleport to the mining area. You will also need 60% favor with the Arceus house in Great Korend, and that is to access the spellbook itself. And having the fairy ring CIS unlocked is also recommended. To unlock that, I do believe you have to pay the NPC that is wandering around that area 80,000 coins, but it's only a one-time fee, so it's definitely worth it. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have all of those requirements, again, this is a very chill and AFK moneymaker, so I actually highly recommend it. If you don't really feel like putting in a lot of effort, this can be a nice way to get some extra GP. As well as some XP in magic, crafting, mining, and even a little bit of rune crafting XP. Which, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could also stock up on these dark essence blocks to train rune crafting with. I know some people do that so that they can get really high XP amounts in a short amount of time. And I don't know if you noticed there, but I did forget to bring the Rune Pouch on one of the runs. That was after I went back to mine more essence, and I forgot to remove the placeholders, so when I went to go bank, everything went in there along with the Rune Pouch. But that is pretty much it for this 1 hour. Here we are finishing up our last inventory. I did try to go back and get one more in there, but I did not reach the lectern in time, so I didn't get to make another inventory. We can now go ahead and do a little price check on all of the tablets that we made. 2.1 mil for 918 Barrows tablets made in this 1 hour. We can now go ahead and go to the GE and sell off all of our hard work. I'm putting it in there for the actively traded price of 23.40, and it won't take long for them to sell. I do believe it took around 30 minutes for all of them to sell, so if you want to be extra patient and put them in there overnight, you could probably make a little bit more money if you just throw them in there for market value. And here is the final price check. Almost 2.15 mil after this 1 hour, but it was more like 3 hours of work, but still, if you have these blocks saved up, I guess it's really 1 hour. But now we can go ahead and calculate the total profit that we made from this 1 hour, since we did have to spend money on the runes to make the teleport tablets. So if we get the amount of money that we spent on supplies, which was 903,312 GP, subtracted from the total amount of money that we made, which was 2,148,120 GP, we get a grand total profit of 1,244,808 GP. And since this took around 3 hours of total time, we can go ahead and divide that by 3, and we're left with about 414,936 GP per hour, which is pretty close to the estimation on the OSRS Wiki. And here is also a look at the amount of magic XP that we got in this 1 hour. I just want to say thanks for checking out the video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and possibly a subscription. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next episode.